Hey guys, I thought I'd do a Chris Chan video today. I talked about it in my update video. I was thinking of doing a internet weirdos on Chris Chan. He's sort of the premium, the original. That's better. The original internet weirdo. I mean, there's people that predate him, but he's the best. He is the example. He is the one we all look to when we think of someone who's a bit weird on the internet. So yeah, this is a very important Chris Chan video. It's actually pretty close to today. It was February 24th, 2007. So that's like 13 years ago. So this was Chris's first video, and I'm gonna give you a rundown on what's going on the screen. This is Chris's shirt. Chris wears a lot of these rugby shirts. I think they're called. It's a sort of thing. He always leans back to them. I think people have theorized that it's an autism related thing because Chris Chan is, of course, autistic. Chris Chan is autistic is the most known fact in the universe. I think that's beyond knowing what Mario is. So yeah, so that's the thing. So he wears a lot of rugby shirts, so that's pretty typical. I like that he tried to wear a suit, and this isn't a bully stream. I know with Dayton I was a bit more aggressive, and that's because Dayton's kind of an asshole. Dayton's kind of aggressive towards people, but Chris is, I don't know. Chris has a sort of, I don't want to say excuse, but he has a reason why he's like he is, how he is. So yeah, this is his sonotube. I'm not going to explain that. I'm just going to let you sit with it. So we'll crack on. I'll explain it in a second. I don't know if he mentions it in this video. I haven't watched this video in about 2 or 3 years. Because I used to be religiously interested in Chris. He's a very interesting person, but not for positive reasons. I mean, he's more documented than like George Washington is, so that's something.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers.
Dudes are all teenagers. Oh, damn! This is the thing about Chris. He's a bit of a silly dude. He's a bit of a weird dude, but sometimes he gets it like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me relating to Chris a bit too much, but that's kind of cool. That's kind of slick. But yeah, I'll carry on with the video. I just wanted to mention that.
As well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there.
This is sort of a CWCism or a Chris Chan thing. He says he says stuff that's a bit weird, but I don't know. The thing is, don't bully Chris. Don't be an asshole to Chris. Chris is an interesting, funny person. If you're gonna do anything, laugh at Chris. Laugh with Chris. Just remember, he's like, he's not like a terrible person. I mean, he's done some bad things, but I think that's mainly the side effect of his parents. His parents are both quite old. Tragically, one of them, Bob, his father, passed away in I think 2011, 2010. So yeah, that's tragic. I mean, Bob was a source of comedy for like all of Chris Chan stuff. He's the great lumberjack. He cuts down the internet, but that's a part of the future, and I recommend you watch a lot of these videos because they're very entertaining. So I'm gonna carry on with this. I'm gonna go forward for it. I'm gonna show you. I'll try and be more hands off. I'll try and let you come to your own conclusions.
This message is for everyone of the present and the future beyond this date, February 24th, 2007. My birthday, my 25th birthday.
This is Chris's 25th birthday. Chris doesn't age right. I don't think this is a disease or like a genetic thing. He just ages a bit weird. He looked like a kid until he was like, oh, he still looks like a bit of a kid here. I think it's how he dresses, and I think it's because he's got a giant Sonichu. So there's a mix between Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu. If you didn't get that, but yeah, he's got a giant Sonichu just strapped to him, so it kind of works on the childhood angle, you know. But yeah, Chris is a bit of a child still, and no bully Chris. Just laugh and look and observe. Yeah, that's a good term.
I am high functioning autistic, and in my 25 years, I have seen and learned so much. And today, I intended to share some wise words.
Context thing here. He meant this video for children. This video is meant to be shown in like schools. I don't think it will, but I don't think it has. Hopefully, because Chris isn't a good influence on kids. He's not really a good influence. But that's mainly because of things that he doesn't intend to be. A lot of it's parental stuff. You'll see in a second. He talks about like gay people and shit. But little hot tip from the Colonel. I don't know. That's just Metal Gear for the reason of Metal Gear. Little hot tip is Chris Chan is his name. He used to be Christopher Chandler, and it's Chris Chan. He ain't a weeb. He ain't an otaku. He only started watching anime like past few years. But yeah, so Chris Chandler is his name. Used to be Christopher. Then he talked to like a bear animatronic that called him Christian, and now he's stuck with Christian ever since. He got it changed. Dude really goes far for stuff.
I hope each and every one of you will take to heart and allow for yourself and everyone else a better, brighter future. First off, remember that going to school is not a torture. It is a place of learning, a place for growing, a place where you
So yeah. So aimed towards children,
form the spelling of your own opinions, your own feelings, and your own personality. So learn everything you are able to and grow with it. Now, you should also be able to try something for yourself before forming praise or detest of it.
So you can see he's got a lot of Saturday morning cartoons, sort of, paint by numbers, the good things you should do, like go to school and don't hate things blindly,
As long as those things will not harm you or shorten your lifetime in any way, it's totally cool.
Chris is very against cigarettes and alcohol. Just a little point there.
What is totally not cool, though, is thinking or doing these things which are very harmful to you and definitely will gross out those around you that don't do it, because I haven't done it and I don't like it doing either of them. You should avoid at all costs smoking, drinking alcohol, and intaking similar icky, dangerous stuff. And smoking will eventually cause cancer.
You can see he's a bit of a child where he's like, drugs are icky, He has a lot of a childhood mentality. When he was 15, he wrote a paper on World War II, and it was like a child's paper on World War II. And I don't say that to directly diss Chris, because that could be an autism related thing. I'm not very informed on the whole thing. I'm not a doctor. But I don't want to blame Chris for like how he is, because I think a lot of it is predetermined autism shit, and a lot of it is Chris not being able to get out of his comfort zone. So some of it's Chris's fault, some of it's not. But Chris isn't like Dayton or Onision. He doesn't hurt people. He doesn't hurt his family. He loves his family very, very much. I think in later years things have gotten dark, but I'm not going to talk about later years at the moment. We're in the golden age, 2007 to about 2011. It was about to when Bob died, and then when Bob died, Chris kind of dipped off the internet for a while.
Cancer, and you'll be more likely to get heart attack, viruses, and your life will be cut drastically short. They don't call cigarettes and cigars death sticks for nothing other than killing you slowly. If I could, I would take every last ounce of tobacco, put them on a rocket, and shoot them up to the moon.
He's very childish, but that's not a bad thing, I
guess.
And
for alcohol, they'll cause liver dysfunction, kidney failures, and not only that, but when you get drunk enough, bar fights and automobile accidents. So it's a real slow-acting poison. And I haven't done either one, and look at me now, but
his arguments are quite flimsy, but to be fair, getting inside Chris's mind is like, that's like, infiltrating Fort Knox. I don't know what's going on with Chris, but it's just interesting, I kind of laugh at these videos. I kind of find them funny, and I don't want to belittle him, but he's a bit odd fellow, but I guess everyone's a bit of a weirdo.
Fit as a fiddle, and I'm living 25, hoping to live on to be about 80.
Ooh, Chris is not as fit as a fiddle. He eats like lots of fast food, and I mean, I eat an unhealthy amount of fast food too, but I'm not judging him on that. I mean, the thing about Chris is he eats a lot of fast food, and he has a very kind of unhealthy kind of attitude, not attitude, but unhealthy behavioral patterns. There we go. That's something I can mention. Chris is sort of plays a lot of video games, plays with Legos. He plays with Legos into his 30s. Bit of a hoarder. Not very good at taking care of things, but he does have a lot of animals, so it's worrying. I don't think Chris would harm someone. Oh wait, no, Chris did do that. Oh god. This is a later saga. Chris pepper sprayed someone because of Sonic's arms were blue. That's crazy. It's very crazy. It gets crazy. But like that's I think one of the most harmful things Chris has done. But after that, I forgot about that. After that, Chris is sort of a tepid sort of person. I mean, a lot of what happens to Chris is sort of people like trolling him. He doesn't go out and start fights like Dayton, or as Dayton is alleged to do, or Onision. I mean, Onision doesn't start fights. He more starts patterns of grooming because he's a sex weirdo.
To 100, and hopefully y'all will get a chance to get.
He's gunning for that hundy, boys. He's trying to get to 100, and I mean, Chris ain't set up to be like that. See, this is the thing. Looking back, you notice so many things where it's like, oh, that's a bit ironic. But I want to keep us in the golden age because modern Chris is just sad. It is just the saddest thing. So I'm gonna keep where it was happy, I guess.
Up to that ripe old age as well. Now, among the better things you should definitely try before despising is some of the hobbies of those of your own opposite gender. Like, for...
I've never noticed this in all, like, what? I don't know how many years I've been watching videos like this. In, like, all of the years of watching this, but there is a cat right behind him, and that is... I don't know Chris's early cats. I don't know Chris's late cats. I just remember Chris had, like, a cat called, like, Snowball or something. I think so. I don't think that's Snowball. I think... No, it wasn't Snowball. It was like something. But yeah, Chris has a lot of cats. Chris is a cat person. His mother is a cat person too, I believe. Bob probably was too. A lot of sad stuff about Bob. Bobbo. What's Bobbo from? Bob... Sad stories, dude was a bit of a homophobe, bit of a racist, but he he fought in like Korea, so I don't think he was very particularly racist for how old he was. I think he was really up there at like this point in his life, so in the early 2000s. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying he should be like excused or anything, but Bob is a very old man who was like raised in a very kind of racist society. He was raised pre-civil rights. So I'm not shocked that Bob is racist. I'm not shocked that Bob is like homophobic. But to be fair, Bob isn't like segregation racist. He's more just says kind of casually racist things sometimes. We don't see much of Bob. That's just what I remember. I mean, I remember Chris like retelling a racist joke that Bob told him, but this isn't about Bob. This is about Chris. This isn't about racism. This is about Sonichu. This is about crazy weird shit that I just love. I just love this shit, and I'm really getting in depth here. I'm going to avoid giving away any more stories, any more spoilers of what's to come.
For example, if you're a young gentleman, I recommend buying yourself a My Little Pony figure of your favorite color or whatever.
Chris is the OG brony, by the way. I said I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna now. Chris is the OG of so many things. He is the original. He was the first person. He was one of the first people to make a Let's Play, and I'm not lying here. It was like 06 or something. It was really early. It was before this, I think. He did a Animal Crossing 40-minute playthrough. He was playing it and talking about it. So yeah, Chris invented Let's Playing. I say that a little bit facetiously, but I don't know if anyone did it before him, so I think. But yeah, I like to say Chris invented Let's Playing. He also created bronies. He also created being a brony. This is pre new My Little Pony. My Little Pony lore here. Let's go back to this. There were 4 generations of My Little Pony. The 3rd generation was apparently dog shit. The 4th generation is like brony bait. So bronies all love the 4th generation of My Little Pony. This is pre the 4th generation, so Chris is like a pre-brony, which is very interesting.
Now, stroking the hair of said pony is very relaxing and therapeutic, and also rubbing it against your cheek. That's nice. And also, you can pretend that the pony is that girl you want to take out too. You want to take out sometime, and talk to the pony like you would talk to the girl. Now, for the ladies, I recommend a good old Autobot from Transformers, because you can get to learn how to examine.
I don't know. I don't know what grade he was like aiming this at, because I always thought of this as like a thing for like high school students because of the smoking and drugs and stuff. But to be fair, he would be telling like what, like 15, 16-year-olds, play with Transformers, play with My Little Pony dolls. I mean, don't think that's what 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds usually do. No offense if you like that stuff, you know, you can do whatever you like really. But yeah, I don't know if that's Chris kind of aiming for a lot younger audience and not knowing that drugs and smoking and stuff probably shouldn't be talked about to a younger audience, or if maybe he's aiming this towards an older audience and assumes because he played with My Little Ponies and Legos at 16 that everyone did. I don't know. Chris is a bit like that. You can interpret him in a lot of ways. He's like God. He works in mysterious ways, and also claims to have created the universe. That one's for late, Chris. That's interesting. It ramps up, but I promise you, the universe creation stuff it ain't interesting. The earlier stuff is way better.
The mechanics and variations of each and every, of the Autobot you have, like you would learn how a man works, and it'll allow you to feel more comfortable in approaching and talking to that boy you've been flirting from a distance, or just been flirting with from a distance, and hopefully all you have to do is just end up and say hello. I mean, it's not so hard. All you have to do is say hello to the man.
Elliot Rodger really could have used Chris's advice. I was just, someone crossed my mind and I was just thinking of Elliot Rodger. If you don't know Elliot Rodger, he's like the original incel. He is the original incel, Elliot Rodger. Chris and Elliot Rodger, completely different. Chris was like the opposite of Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger never scored any goals because he never asked anybody. He just sat and waited. Chris is kind of the opposite. Chris was like on Poon Patrol 24/7. He was out at his local college campus with a big sign that said, "Date me, please." So Chris and Elliot Rodger are very different people, very opposite ends of the spectrum of how their dating lives are. Apart from the fact they both didn't get laid, but you know, I mean, Chris is a sort of he's like the opposite of Elliot in a lot of ways because he's the same but different. Chris never had sex and he was the virgin with rage, and Elliot was the real virgin with rage because Elliot Rodger kind of killed people and was a terrible person and should not be looked up to. But Chris, I think like just sat at home and played Legos. So Chris is a better person than Elliot Rodger at least. But yeah, I was gonna say Elliot Rodger could really use that advice. I just had Elliot Rodger on my mind. I had Mumkey Jones on my mind. I was just thinking of these people. But yeah, back to Chris, because this isn't about Elliot today. This isn't about... I might do one on Elliot. But that one could get me banned. That one got Mumkey banned. So I could get banned for that.
And ladies, that's all. And everything will just get rolling from there. And also with the Autobots, well, it's a vehicle where you can drive down that imaginary fast lane. But in any case, while few people may ridicule you, you should not worry about it, because most everybody will be totally okay with it.
This is actually something that's quite noticeable with Chris, especially in the early days. When he gives advice, he's very uplifting, very, yeah, you can do it, you know, people won't mock you, or if people mock you, that's okay, you know, you be yourself. And Elliot was very, everyone will hate you forever, everyone hates me sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a very big difference. I mean, I don't want to compare Chris Chan and Elliot because they're very different people. I'm going to stop saying Roger because YouTube will probably flag that up. But yeah, Elliot and Chris were very different people. I was just going to mention that because I thought it was very interesting how Chris and Elliot Rodger are very opposites, but were also described as virgins with rage.
It's because it won't matter. It won't matter because they see you enjoying it, and that's totally cool if you're enjoying it. So you enjoy it, just do it. Don't worry about other people's opinions. Because compared to the other school, those people who disregard you are just total peanuts. And I'm not talking Charlie Brown, I'm talking about the little nuts, yeah, with the shells. The real peanut gallery. That would be Peanuts, wouldn't it? Also keep in mind that while you're playing with these...
Okay, this is where it gets homophobic, but like, it's like entry level homophobia. He doesn't go like Westboro Baptist and like, deaf to insert group. I ain't gonna get banned off YouTube, but I probably will if I say that shit. So I'm avoid saying things that will get me banned because at the moment I'm talking about homophobia and Elliot Rodger. It's a bit of a weird balance.
Things you should keep in mind of what your true original gender is.
This gets ironic. Like, really ironic, the phrase, you should keep in mind what your original gender is, because Chris kind of changes on that. I'm not gonna talk about the future. I'm really trying to keep away from the future, because everything pre the future is like funny, and if you know about Chris's future, it gets sad quick.
Is because it's like you're learning about that girl you want to take on a date, young man. Or likewise, you feel more comfortable to approach that boy just saying hello that you've been checking out from a distance, young lady. And hope
he's really trying to insinuate. The thing about Chris is like, I find his homophobia funny. And not like I agree with that. More of a, oh my god, it's just cringe, and it's like, I don't know. It's funny from someone that is part of that community. I find it funny because Chris isn't like actually. I mean, he is, but he's got this like surface level hatred because he's not. He doesn't hate them for like a particular reason. He's just taught to hate them. He's based on stereotypes very very much. A lot of stereotypes is what Chris like sees the world in. He sees the world in stereotypes and movie cliches, and I feel that could be autism related, but I don't know. I'm not a professional.
hopefully in due time or now, each and every one of you will stay straight. Girl for boy, boy for girl. Everything else is vice, as said by Dr. Kinsey.
Chris has done research. This is what I like about Chris. He does research. He did an entire Little Big Planet level about autism, which is, I actually did play that. I can't remember any of it. I just remember it being like based off Wikipedia. Me and Chris, I can relate to Chris a lot when it comes to Little Big Planet because I fixated on that game when I was a kid. I absolutely just drained my hours on it. And it was great. It was a good time. But I'm not going to talk about Little Big Planet because it is very it's not really required. It's just something Chris does to pass the time.
Not just for me, not for the big man upstairs, not for your family, but do it for yourself and for the benefits of everyone in the future. Your children, your children's children. And besides, if you stray away from the straight path, it can really jeopardize the entire future of the world.
This is the thing about Chris, is his homophobia is sort of, he doesn't want to act on anything. He's just like, he's not like no marriage or no adoption. It's just like, don't sell the Max body spray. So it's comical. It's very funny. It's sort of humorous just in how he's kind of comical about it. He's like it's like a cartoon villain. You can't take him seriously because their positions are all kind of jokes.
And the human race. Also, girls and ladies, don't just go over gaga over the handsome rich boys and men, because they may turn out to be disrespectful and distasteful in their personality. You should take into consideration all the other gentlemen that you may have considered. That
Love Ain't Skin Deep, Chris Chan, 2007. I mean, yeah, Chris does have some good points.
may be less attractive or equally. less or moderately, because they will likely have a better personality that you will generally enjoy and like, and they may end up having a brighter future for themselves. Like, look at me now. I'm shooting this movie for a DVD. That I hope will be shown in a couple of schools at least.
This is the thing about Chris. He has no knowledge of how the process happens. I have no knowledge of how the process happens. The process to get my content out there is to put it up on YouTube because I'm cheap. I don't have a producer. I don't have anything. I just have a microphone and a laptop and a pair of headphones, so the laptop doesn't do feedback into the microphone. So it's very much like that. It's very much simplistic for me. But Chris thought this was gonna get like put on DVD and sent out to schools, but there was no kind of tangible way he was going to do that because there's no production company, there's no director. I mean, Chris is the director. Even the white balance and like contrast are fucked in this. So yeah, he doesn't have a professional setup, but he expects results. I think that's because Chris doesn't think stuff through.
Now, also, when each and every one of you has a true general understanding of the opposite gender, and after finding that special man, ladies, or that special girl, gentlemen.
It's just he doubles down, and it's just so great the way he doubles down. It's like when you find that special man, ladies, when you find that special woman, men. It's like how Epstein killed himself and didn't didn't get murdered because Epstein definitely killed himself. It's very he's trying to say something.
Always keep to heart and memory the times that you two felt most attracted to each other, because that will be a key point to the recovery from any disputes or arguments that you two might have in the future. Otherwise, you two would just be darn happy with each other. But it's not always going to be peaches and cream or strawberry shortcakes. And also remember, you two should keep each other, because there will be nobody else, no matter how much you think about it, nobody else that can replace that special someone, him for her or her for him. There's just nobody else. There's no substitute for that first one. And now, I leave you with the lessons that you should have. I hope you have learned from my message. You should stay in school, learn as you much, and try before you praise or despise. Never smoke, never drink, never worry about how others think of you when you do things, or when you play with things that may not seem like you or whatever. Don't be afraid to approach those of your opposite gender. And most importantly, please stay straight. I leave you with those words as I have shared with you on this, my 25th birthday, February 24th, 2007. I am Christopher Christian Weston Chandler. Live long and shine on in your very own unique way. War is never the answer. Peace is. Never fight. Compliments will get you fuzzy wuzzies. War gets you prickly wicklies, as well as punches. They get you those too. Thank you very much.
So I just love that it's like, don't do war, don't fight, don't do drugs, but most importantly, don't be gay. You can do all that stuff, but just don't be gay, guys. It's kind of funny, Chris is very funny like that. I mean, this is the thing about Chris. He's like, if he was an adult, and I mean he is an adult, but if he behaved like an adult, it wouldn't be funny. But because he's a homophobic child in sort of the body of an adult, it's kind of funny. But yeah, so this is the first video I was going to show you guys, and I'm probably going to show you guys the next video. The second message is important. I'm not going to show all the videos because some of those videos are very not safe for work. Some of them have nudity and sexual acts. So I don't want to get banned from YouTube 3 times. I mean, that could get me 3 content strikes. So I do an Elliot Roger video, a Chris Chan cum drinking video, and a what's the third one? Oh yeah, a video about the Westboro Baptist Church. So this is Chris Chan. funny guy, great guy. I'm gonna do more videos on this guy because I find him so hilarious. He isn't a troll, by the way, guys. He's been doing this for like, how many years has it been? 2007, 13 years straight. 13 years straight of just content, and he has never broken character once. There was one time he pretended to break character under the guise of under the advice even of I think friend, because they were like, this is how they're going to stop trolling you if you pretend that it was all a ruse, but it's not. And I find it funny because Chris, this is the thing about Chris. As much as autism affects his life, the one time he tried to be normal, it was like, oh, he's just a normal high functioning autistic person. I mean, it's clear from kind of, how he acts when he wants to look normal that Chris knows how to be normal. Chris just chooses not to be. And I'm not like some conformist where it's like, yeah, I'm not a conformist that's like, you must act normal. I mean, you can play Lego all you want, but like, bro, get a job. that first. Anyway, I want to say thanks, guys. Have a good one. Peace out.